Hello everyone and welcome. In this live demo, I'm going to talk about composition and my 3 steps to achieving better composition. Next Tuesday, I have a video coming out about composition, and this video is all about positive, negative space, rule of thirds, and it gives you a basically main idea and overview of composition. Gives you all kinds of different terms and defines them, and gives you a bunch of examples. I worked pretty hard on it, and it'll serve as like an overview video. So if you don't know much about composition at all, it's a great place to start. This demonstration is not like that. You can still start here, but it's not an overview video. I'm not really going to define many terms or anything. Instead, this live demo is meant to bring ideas together and give you the structured 3-step process for considering composition. So I'll briefly explain the 3 steps. First, I like to consider the story of the image that I'm trying to draw. What is the image? What is the story that I'm trying to tell? Things that I consider in story are where is the camera? How many elements are in the scene? And what actions might be taking place or were implied. Then you can move on to guides, things like the rule of thirds, leading lines, and then what other lines do you want to draw and make a strong statement with different lines. And so how are you going to place things is basically guides. Finally, I consider space. And for me, I like to think, how can I keep it simple? That's it. So I consider negative space first. How can I dim or remove elements so that it's not too cluttered? And then positive space. Do I want to have very dense parts on my page? The only thing you need to bring for these 3 steps to work is your idea. So you just need a clear idea about what you want to express. Then if you think through those 3 steps, it'll be a little bit better than if you had just started drawing. So what is my idea? So I'm writing a story sequence for my main character, a spider. And at this point in the story, the spider has just emerged from a cave and is looking at the world, and I want to say that the world is beautiful. And I already made this page, and this is what it looked like before. I did not use the 3-step process when I made this. And I think there's good things about it, and people liked this page. However, I was not satisfied with the page, which is a good reason why I like to consider the composition. The reason I wasn't happy with this page, it took me a while to figure it out, was because the story that I was telling wasn't very strongly expressed. It was said in the words, but the image didn't really say the story in the way that I wanted. There's like a split, because I was trying to use bold colors, because that's kind of beautiful. There's the highly dense part and less dense, more simple parts. Trying to do everything I could to make things look nice. But the idea was the spider was looking at the world and seeing it as beautiful. And that wasn't really expressed. It's just a pretty picture. I'm going to quickly open up a worksheet that I made, and I'll link it in the description. And this worksheet will help us go through the 3 stages, and I'm going to go through the 3 stages for my idea. The spider looking at the world and seeing it as beautiful. Okay, yeah. So let's fill out the worksheet now. And this will just be kind of like a checklist. If you're doing this yourself, you can skip questions, go around anything you want. But the idea is it'll help you remember things for each category, and that way it'll help you to consider what kind of image you want to make before you start drawing. It's good to think things through, and a lot of times it's hard to be intentional about that process of thinking things through before starting drawing. So that's what this is to help with. First, we're considering the story, and the first question is about perspective. Would your story be more impactful if the camera position is unique? Where would you place it? Now, in addition to filling this out, I've also been thinking in my head what kind of images I wanted to see. And what I thought would be pretty cool is if we're looking through the perspective of the spider. And if you've ever seen those images where there's like four of the same face and they're different colors, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. The spider in my game actually has 5 eyes. The one in the middle is normal eye, and then it's got like an amber, like a magenta, and a turquoise, and an indigo eye. So I'm going to mimic all the colors of the eyes will be the different colors of the scene. And then the big eye in the middle will be the normal colors of the scene. That's just from considering perspective, that's where that idea came from when I was thinking about it. Do you want to have ideas in unique poses or positions? What kind of pose? I'm going to skip this one because I'm looking through the eyes of the spider, so there's not going to be any characters on the screen. This is pretty important. What elements are in my image? Now, because I'm doing those 5 copies, the image itself within the eyeball has to be very simple because there's going to be 5 of them. I don't want to clutter the space too much. It's already so full. But there's not going to be a background, no sun, just dandelion on a black empty background with some light coming from the dandelion. That's it. Because there's going to be 5 of them again. I don't want to overcomplicate the image. The middle eye is going to really take the show, and then the ones on the corners are going to be kind of like interesting things that you can look at, but I want to draw the attention back to the center again. What action do I want to show? This is going to be implied action, looking through the spider's eyes. Okay, so you know what the idea behind the image. Now we're going to use guides, and this is how I'm going to achieve the idea that I've come up with. Rule of thirds, I will use it. However, I'm not going to use it for the whole image. It's going to be within each eye. There's going to be like a little mini rule of thirds. That's going to help keep interesting, good-looking composition within each little mini picture that's going to be around the page. Do I have any other goals? If you see in this image, there's like kind of like a line. They kind of fan out. I want to do something similar like that. But I want to do kind of more like a straight line. Like that. I'm going to make my own guide. Just a custom line. I'm not combining guides. What guides are you combining? No. Skip. Negative space. I have to be very careful. I don't want to put too much emphasis on anything. So, sorry, I don't want to put too many elements. So that's a good reminder. Space is a good reminder to keep it simple. Overload or high complexity? No. I'm not gonna do any crazy complexity on my scene because it's already complex with the 5 eyes. So this is the checklist, kind of, things you can think about as you're going through. Now I have a clear idea of what my image wants to look like. Now I'm gonna draw the image. So, here we have before and after for the same kind of story being told. And there's strengths and weaknesses with both, but I feel more satisfied with the one on the right. I think it tells the story that I want to tell a little more clearly, more intentionally. Yeah. So keep in mind also, this is a concept art. So I'll be making this in Blender and be teaching myself grease pencil, be able to make it animated and look good that way too. So yeah, hope this live demonstration was helpful for understanding how to better consider the composition before starting. In the description, I'll have resources including basic ideas about composition videos, as well as the worksheet that I filled out that helps you remember all kinds of different considerations. You can skip around and do it as you like. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.